Hello and welcome to Leading Voices by GSF. My name is Antoni Lacinai. I'm your host for this YouTube initiative. And with me today, I have from PSAUKI, William Buist.
Hello, Antoni, and lovely to be here.
Well, the same. Good to have you here. William, PSAUKI, I said. Can you tell us more about you before we go into your association? Who are you?
Who am I? Well, that's a good question. I'm a professional speaker. I speak about intentional mastery. I've written a book with the same title. That's all about how we develop our expertise and then go beyond our expertise and really get to be the one person who really knows our topic inside out. And once you've mastered it in that way, then it gets much easier to be booked and to be recommended and to be referred.
For sure. In the association you have, PSAUKI, I think that you said to me you were the finance guy. You were the one keeping track of money.
So we're the PSA UK and Ireland. So we cover all of Great Britain and the island of Ireland as well. So we're a big region, a big part of GSF. 600 plus members now and growing, which is fabulous. And yes, I look after the finances for the association.
Good that you mentioned that it was not only like England, it was the whole Great Britain. So it could have been called PSAGB, I guess, in that case. But
yeah. So I mean, the strange thing with the United Kingdom that we are 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, and then we've got the Southern Ireland, which is a different country completely, and governed in a different way and part of the EU. And we're all in the PSA UK and I, so we have access to many markets here as well, which is fabulous.
And when did this association start?
We actually had our 25th birthday just last month, so we're 25 years old. So that makes us formed in 1999, just before the millennium, and we've been working as an association ever since then, and growing and developing and learning how an association really works, and learning from our colleagues elsewhere in the GSF, and hopefully providing them with some insights too.
We all have a heritage from National Speakers Association in the US, 51-year-old now when this is recording. Yeah. I guess you're the second one. What do you say is the purpose of your association?
Well, I think it falls into there's 2 main things, and one that I think is also really important. And the 2 main things, it's about helping our members to speak more often. And the second bit is to speak better when they speak. So those 2 things, speak more, speak better, have been part of our strapline for a long time. But I think there is a third thing that's really important, and that's the community that we create by being an association. The connections, the people, those 600 members, and the links that they all make between each other at our regional meetings, our national events, and so on. And those connections, we've built a family, a group of people who are looking out for each other. I think speaking is a really rare industry in that we are all in the market as speakers. So in one sense, we're competitors, and yet our product is very individual. It's very different. I speak about intentional mastery. Others speak about marketing or sales, so in many ways, we also don't compete, because a client is looking for a speaker on a particular topic, and they can come to any of us and say, who do you know who speaks on marketing? And I'll know 3 or 4 people that I can recommend, or on sales, and I'll know 3 or 4 different people I can recommend. And when they're asked about who speaks about expertise and mastery, then they'll refer me. So we're a family in that sense too. And I think that's a really unusual market to be in. Because in most markets, your peer companies are competitors, they're competing for the same business, and we're not. So one of the things we do in GSF is talk about making the pie bigger. And I think that's what that collective family can do.
Yeah, don't worry about the pie, we'll make it bigger. We help each other out here.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
so many things that I'm already spinning on based on what you said. I was thinking about talking about, what is the purpose for people to actually join? And I think you mentioned most of them. Help them to speak more, speak better, and also perhaps have referrals and help each other out in different ways.
Yeah, and I think, that's it's true the world over. I traveled to Canada to the CAPS conference earlier this year, and we were welcomed. We were brought into their family and treated as a member of their family as well. It was a lovely experience, and I think that's true for all the associations. When you travel and visit other speakers in other countries, you just build that wonderful network of good friends, willing to help, willing to be helped as well, and supporting each other. It's fabulous.
Yeah, I know some people say, "Oh, family, that's too close. Let's keep us as colleagues." But I actually like the fact that we are so good friends, and even at some extent family. Every time we meet, we hug, more or less. So it's one of those things, right?
And, yeah, exactly. And I think, families can be small and just, mum and dad and the kids, or they can be very big and have great aunts and great uncles. And I'm using the word in that sense of the extended family.
Yeah, the extended family. I absolutely agree. Yeah, and it's lovely every time you meet people from different associations as well, and your own. Things just happen. It's this magical, generous feeling you're talking about. What would you say that you're most proud of?
I think I joined the PSA UK and I in 7 or 8 years ago, and I was very much a rookie speaker then, and a bit raw at the edges, and needed some support and help to hone my speaking skills. And through the people that I met, I've been able to do that. And through also their encouragement, was what brought me to write the book about mastery and to work my way up through the association, so that now I'm a PSA fellow. I've demonstrated the speaking ability and the business that I have that makes that possible. And I think I'm really proud of that journey. It's not about the destination. It's a journey that still goes on. I'm still wanting to improve and to develop. And I'm proud of that reality, that we support each other all the way through the journey. And I've met some fabulous people who I've coached and mentored as well along the way. And I'm really proud of what they've achieved too. And I think that's a part of it. So just being part of the association and being able to help others. And that's why I joined the board and became the finance director too, because it allows me to bring my skills to bear to help make sure the association is as strong as possible too.
Yeah. And also, just roll up your sleeves and be part of it and help and contribute in one way or another. From an association perspective then, what would you say are the biggest success factors for PSA UK and I?
I think there's a few things. We were the first of the associations to host the GSF, the GSS, the Global Speakers Summit, the conference that's held every 2 years. We were the first to host it immediately after the pandemic and lockdowns and all of those things that go with that. And I think we created a fabulous event in Dublin, and I think really brought the global speakers back together after the pandemic. And I'm really proud of what we achieved there. But also, and that moves on now, we'll be in Bali later this year with the next one of those conferences. And I'm sure that'll be even better and even bigger. I'm sure that's going to be a fabulous success. But I think that's all part of it, really, Antoni. It's all part of how we make it work.
I was in Dublin. I had an amazing time. Got so many friends. Got some COVID as well.
We kind of met, but we passed. There were so many people. We didn't have a lot of chance to talk.
For sure. How is your association built up? Do you work with chapters, or is it just one big, or how does it work?
So we have what the Americans NSA would call chapters. We have regions. So we have 12 regions plus a virtual region. So we from Scotland, in all through England, in Ireland, we have a chapter there as well, and those groups meet monthly in person for a usually 3 to 4 hour session. Although the London group, because it's a capital, I guess, it's as big as as it can be, really, and it runs for the whole day. So that's fabulous as well. So we have the one day in London, we have half days in the other regions, and we have a virtual region. And the virtual region is there for those people where there isn't a region very close to them, so they can't get easily in the room. And that's being really successfully run as well. And so that's growing too, which is great. And I think all of these things contribute to the growth of the association. It's all about providing value to the members, creating meetings that they want to attend, don't want to miss, and creating the opportunity for them to learn and develop themselves as they go.
So the monthly meeting you have, William, are those like set already? Like in the beginning of the year, there's a calendar. You know that you will meet at a certain time.
Yeah, I think most of the regions, in fact, I think all of the regions run at a regular time in the month. So there might be second Saturday or first Friday or the second Wednesday of the month, and they'll meet right through the year each month on that day.
All right.
They may not meet in August. Some regions do meet in August, some don't because of holidays.
Yeah.
And if it clashes with one of the national conferences, which are in October for the 3-day event we run, and coming up in April, we have a 1-day event. If their regional meeting clashed with either of those, then usually they wouldn't hold that meeting. But other than that, they meet every month.
So what is the agenda of those meetings? Is it also set, or is it like depending on what people want to talk about?
Well, the content isn't set, although the structure of the meetings runs to a broad formula, and very much the regional presidents have the opportunity to put their own personality on the meetings. So they will vary a little bit from region to region from what I'm about to describe. But in general, they are 2 45-minute to an hour talks or workshops delivered by one of the professional members or the fellows. And also there's a couple of opportunities for our associate members, the people who are at the beginning of their speaking journey. Generally, the associates will have an opportunity to speak for 10 minutes and get some feedback on their talk. So as a delegate, somebody attending those days, you get the opportunity to see some really good speakers because they're from the professionals or the fellows in the association. They're delivering great content. Content will vary. The topics will vary depending on the speaker, of course. But you also get to see and hear the feedback for somebody at the beginning of the journey. And although I'm, been speaking now for a number of years, every time I see a new speaker speaking, listen to them, see some of the things they're doing, and hearing the feedback, I learn from that too. There are bits like, oh, I think I might do that. I need to be careful that I don't keep doing that. So there's always opportunities to learn. And of course, when you see a really great speaker, there are things there you think how are they doing that? How are they getting that message across in a way that's memorable and effective, and picking up tips about how to do that as well to improve yourself.
That's really good. I mean, in Sweden we have something we call collegial listening. If we are at a certain town, we say we're there. Anyone would like to join me? I will find a guest ticket for you, and then we have a feedback session afterwards. It's also not like you structured, but more ad hoc as well. Yeah, sure. But I really like the way you do it, and to do it continuously over the year like this is really good. Cool. Thank you. What is it that's cooking right now then? What are your opportunities or challenges or that you talk about at this point?
So I think, we've, the pandemic, of course, is in the past. We are back in the room. All of that is fine. There are some challenges, certainly in the UK, and I think in other countries too, that still linger on from the pandemic, not least, the venues that we use have really struggled in lockdown. They weren't able to trade. They built up debt. They lost good staff and have had to replace it with less experienced staff. So we're having to do a lot more management of the venues to make sure that we get the experience for our members that we want. That's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. I think it's given us the opportunity to look at what actually do we want from the venues? What are the key things that a venue needs to deliver to be inclusive, to give our members the best possible experience. And we've really stepped back and taken some time to think about what it is that makes a great meeting, and therefore being able to go out to new venues and look for which ones provide that opportunity. And, for example, the venue we've chosen for the national conference this year, which is in a beautiful part of the world, it's in the Cotswolds, not far from here, but we've been looking also at their sustainability credentials. How many plastic cups does a PSA conference throw away if the water is always given to you in a plastic cup or a plastic bottle? So we've started looking at those things too, and looking at how we can make our events more sustainable. Because speaking, we all travel a lot to go and speak. There's a lot of opportunity for people to criticize what we do in that sense. So I'm really keen that we look at what can we also do to mitigate the environmental damage that we might do on our journey by helping to make sure that we minimize it everywhere else. So that's something that we're working on hard now as an association and thinking about. And also, looking at the benefits of membership. Where do members really get value, and where can we add opportunities and partnerships that will help our members develop their business faster and more effectively? What is your findings when it comes to the last thing you said there? Do you know that this is the thing, except from the collegial family type of feeling? Well, I think there isn't a magic bullet. There isn't a single thing that you can say, if we just got that, we would sort the speaking industry out forever. I wish there was, but there isn't one thing. I think there are a number of aspects to it. Then, as an example, some of the technology that's developing now, artificial intelligence, image creation, all of the things and challenges that come with that, we're really trying to make sure that we partner with companies that are really good at doing that in a professional way, and helping our members to understand what that might look like. So that's one area. Another example might be we have a partnership with a company that provides accreditation for people who run training courses and workshops, so they can get those workshops accredited for what we call CPD, continual professional development, so that the larger corporate clients for whom that's important know that they're booking a speaker who has this accreditation. And again, that's helping our members to stand out from the market, because they can get access to that at a very beneficial rate. So before I ask you the last question, I've decided that I have it's in my prerogative to have opinions as a host here. And I just want to salute you for your sustainability initiative as well, and effort and looking into that. There is no business on a dead planet. So thank you for that. How would you say that GSF, the Global Speakers Federation, can help your association? I think, again, it allows us to take that whole sense of we are in this business to be great speakers, yes, but we're also in this business to help others to be great speakers. And I think the GSF has the opportunity, and it takes it, and that's one of the things I love about it, is that it really helps to share the best practice, look at all of the member associations and say, what's working really well right now in Canada, what's working really well right now in Malaysia, and let's, the British have that challenge. Let's tell them what's going on here so that they can overcome that challenge quickly. And that opportunity to share best practice amongst the different associations is great. I think the other thing is that the fact that you and I have met because of GSF. You and I have met because we've had this opportunity to speak together, and I think our members of associations all around the world, many of them are pretty quiet. They don't get out and network and build the networks of people that could help them. And I'd encourage them all to reach out, not just in your own association, but to think about what sort of people would you like to meet in the other associations around the world, and build great networks that can refer people. And as an example of that, I've known Joni Peddle in South Africa for a number of years, met through the speaking associations. She introduced me last week to a gentleman who's moving from South Africa to the UK. We had a fabulous conversation this morning. So I've been able to link him up to people within the UK PSA so that he's now got those connections too. And it's that kind of, network of great people that can help each other that I think is one of the real benefits of GSF.
I agree. And even the first thing you said about, helping each other out, like from a network perspective, as you also ended there with your South African friend and so on. This initiative is one of them. We're doing this to spread the word and so on. And yes, we haven't met before, I think, at least not like this. So it's great to have a good conversation and chat with you as well. I'd like to thank you, William, for this, to taking your time for this and sharing your knowledge and ideas and wisdom to the rest of us so that we can perhaps be inspired and also learn from you.
An absolute pleasure, Antoni. And of course, I'm more than delighted to do this. It's one of the things that I think gives us all the opportunity to learn and develop and grow, and that's a good thing.
Cool. So thank you for you who was watching this. More to come. Stay tuned. Thank you.